So welcome to Wakelet, brief introduction to what this is as a tool, and then some instructions about how you might want to set up your own Wakelet. First step to create your own account, so wakelet.com, and then create your own account. Before we look at how you create collections, I think it's useful to look at what it is as a tool. And you'll notice in this bottom corner here, that's my own collections, of which there are, as you see, 0, and group collections. You can actually collaborate on collections, which is really useful. So if we click on an example of one I collaborated on, and this was a Wakelet to capture some action research that had been done in the Northeast around teachers' use of digital tools in the classroom. And you'll see if we click on here that the Wakelet is a way of capturing what happened on the day. And it's a mixture of pictures, of tweets, of links to resources. So it's a real sort of multimodal resource, if you like, that really captures, can capture a certain event or theme. So you have an option to choose a front picture, a sort of cover image, and that's one that was drawn by an illustrator at the event to try and capture the key theme. And if we scroll down, you'll see that there's links to Twitter, links to the illustrator's website, PDF of a previous action research report, tweets capturing just before the event, and from participants, and pictures on the day. And it unfolds chronologically, so it's quite a nice way of maybe telling a story of the day. So that's what Padlet is. So perhaps begin to think about how you think it might be or could be useful in your context. So this will take me back to the My Collection page, which is where you create your own Wakelets from. I initially wanted some help in creating my own Wakelets. So if you click on the 3 dots here and then go down to support, that takes you to a really nice page of videos supporting the use of Wakelet. There's quite a lot on here. This one is particularly useful, and it's the only one I watched before I collaborated on that first Wakelet. It was enough to do that. Another one that I've watched that looks interesting is being able to upload lots of tweets onto a Wakelet, because uploading them one by one can be quite time consuming. So that also strikes me as useful, because Wakelet seems to lend itself quite well to using tweets. Okay, so back to my page and creating a new collection. So I'm currently supporting trainee vocational teachers on a module which encourages them to look at how they can develop their learners' literacy, but very much within a vocational context. So I'd like to create a Wakelet to capture some of the excellent resources and ideas and discussions that have been coming up in the session. The reason I think Wakelet would be good for this is because I think it reflects a lot of their own literacy practices, which are around social media and commenting, and for that to be a bit more live. And I feel the Moodle which we use, and even Padlet, is not quite as dynamic potentially as Wakelet. So I'm going to start building this Wakelet, and ideally I would like them to collaborate. So click on Create a New Collection, and the first thing it asks you to do is to give your collection a title. So supporting learners, literacy, self-development, and I want to really emphasize the vocational tutor's role here, because vocational tutors view, or might want to change that to the plural, but I quite like that as a sort of short description. So there I've got the title. I'd quite like to add a cover image, so I can upload an image, and I can upload those from a folder that I've already got there, and I've uploaded my image. You can alter the size of your the image that you have appearing as a first image. I'd like it to be quite big, so I'm going to leave it like that. Save. It'll give you an option now of whether you want it as a full cover image or half cover. I'm happy with if that is a full cover image. So that's the image, and then I've got my title and description. So the first thing, if you click on this green button here, it gives you an option to upload various things. I would quite like to start with actually some text. So I'm going to welcome to our Wakelet. Look at some of the fantastic resources you have been creating to support literacy development. Can you add to these? That might need to be a little bit snappier, but I can come back and edit it. So I've got my text, and there I can underline it, or I can make it bigger. So I've got it saved. Okay. Now I want to show them a link to the resources they've been creating, and they've been creating these in a Padlet, but I've noticed that, as you'll see here, only the arts teacher and the politics, law and media teachers have been uploading, and I'm keen to encourage others. So I'd like to have a link here in the Wakelet to try and encourage others to upload. You'll see here there's some fantastic subject-specific terminology for art and a nice worksheet to support politics students in reading about US Congress. So I go back to my Wakelet, and here I can have the option of, let's click on that again, I can paste a URL in, so I click that link in there, and then that will give me, lovely, so I can actually view what they've done there, which hopefully will encourage them. Probably looking a little bit flat, and I might want something else up here, so I might probably quite keen to upload some images of some of the work they've been doing in sessions. So that's something I might upload later, but I think that's something I'd really like to celebrate. So the images that I've got on Moodle, I'll upload there. But another interesting website that we've been looking at in class and they've been quite interested in, is the National Literacy Trust, and there's a nice link here to Read Northeast, so I'd quite like to get that in there. Okay, so that's very basic, adding text, adding some URLs. I think it would be nice to capture tweets around literacy as well, and I think that's something I might ask them to add, as I'm not on Twitter, but I quite like the idea of this being collaborative. So you can click on this button at the top, and it allows you to shift the posts around a bit more easily. So that's quite a nice function, and then if you click on that again, it'll go back to the normal view. Here, this allows you to have slightly different views. I like the media view as we've got here because to me it's quite clear and it displays it chronologically, but you can alter it to have, for example, a grid view, so you've got you've got elements appearing alongside each other, so that's quite a nice feature as well. And so you can save it and then go back in and edit it, and that obviously needs quite a lot of editing. So very briefly, I'm hoping to use this for learners to collaborate on. So up here, this here will give the option of whether you want it obviously private or public, and you can have an option where you ask people to collaborate. Just when that's finished loading, I'll show you. So I can invite students to make this Wakelet a lot more lively, which I'm sure they will be very good at. So that's a very, very brief introduction to Wakelet. Thank you.